Hello everyone, Jeff here for Respawn Studios, back with another Hearthstone video, and this will be a look at a couple games in this season, the August season. You might have seen on our channel I did an attempt to hit Legend, but that season I believe I ended up rank 4. I've totally lost track of time. I don't even know if that was June or if that was this past July. But for the July season I ended up rank 3 stars into rank 3. It said I was in the top 0.5% of all players. So that's pretty cool. I'm pretty proud of that, but I'm still trying to hit Legend. So this is the deck I'm using. It's a mid-range mage. You see I have a golden mage. It's my only golden class thus far, though I'm really close with Paladin and Hunter. And I'm rank 7 thus far this season. I started at rank 17. I've gone up 10 times thus far. It says I'm already in the top 4% of people for this season, so that's cool. But here we go. I'm going to commentate 3 different games. First will be a mirror match, and then I'll be destroying 2 different Patron Warriors, which is always fun. But here we go. Game 1, you want a mulligan, of course, for your 2 drops, or even better, Mana Worm, your 1/1 drop. But Mad Scientist, Unstable Portal, Frostbolt, they're always good to have. You don't really want to have any secrets in your opening hand, because Mad Scientist, of course, death rattles into giving you a secret. And I'm letting him know that that's not good. Mech Mage does not really work anymore. I also love facing aggro paladins. I'm 9-1 with this deck against aggro paladins. I somehow lost one time when he perfectly top decked. When I was about to kill him the next turn, he had like 2 health. I had 4 minions on board. He had nothing, and he perfectly top decked like the 2 or 3 damage he needed. But anyway, fairly standard matchup. You just want to keep their board clear. You can even out aggro them if you want. There are enough damage dealing minions, and of course your burn spells, frostbolts and fireballs. You can race them if you want. But we have 2 water elementals in this deck. That's kind of the perfect thing to counter a Patron Warrior. And I'm letting him know, whoops, that was all of his mana, and now I could put down my Sludge Belcher and just start smorking it, going all face. And unless he fireballs the... oh god. Anyone that runs a Fel Reaver is just an instant loss. Like, so bad. Unless you're facing like Control Warrior, your opponent's going to be able to play at least 3 cards the next turn and make you draw at least 9, burn 9 cards, so just horrible. And this is going to lead to next turn. I'm also going to be able to start burning tons of cards when he concedes, because it's just terrible. Why in the world would you play it? I went from rank 4, finally got to the first time ever rank 3 last season using Mech Shaman. But I have never run Fel Reaver, and I never will. What a waste of a card. I run, I think it's called the Fire Guard Destroyer instead. And it also costs less. Well, technically it's the same because it gives 1 overload, but it could be a 7/6 and there's no adverse effects other than that 1 overload. But there we go. Very easy first win. Destroy that guy. And now we get to beat 2 Patron Warriors in a row to go on a winning streak. So I was considering keeping Flame Strike, but I might be able to win before it gets to that point. So I might not have to Flame Strike away all of his guys. Of course, Flame Strike is perfect for a Patron Warrior. Get rid of all of their guys, no matter how many they have. But a pretty good opening hand. We have a Water Elemental, we have a 1-drop, we have Frostbolt. Now, perfect. Both Water Elementals. We basically already won. We're just on autopilot now. Don't really have to think anymore. Just keep freezing him. He can't use his weapons. He can't get the death rattle from Death Spite to damage his own guys, of course, to build up armor, draw cards. Alright, so I don't really have any good options here. I could just coin and Frostbolt to get my guy up to a 3-3, but there's no need. I could just Frostbolt and kill it, but again, that's kind of a waste. You want to save Frostbolts for their damage dealing minions. That's pretty desperate, slamming a 1-3, but alright, maybe he has nothing else to. Alright, so a lot of people are confused as to how to beat Patron Warrior. They say it's very difficult for a lot of people to beat. It's not. All they're trying to do is desperately build up cards and then get like an Emperor down or have enough for like a turn 8 crazy combo with Warsong Commander into everything else. So what you want to do everything you can to deny them card draw. Frostbolt the Acolytes, use Polymorph on an Acolyte. You want to deny all possible card draw. Keep freezing the face. There's so many ways to just slow them down. So here it is going to seem a little extreme, but I'm going to Polymorph here. I don't want to not be able to freeze his face, and if I hit it, it would damage my guy and give him armor. And I wouldn't be able to, again, freeze his face. So that's a lot of lost opportunities there. So instead, he's not going to get any more armor. I'm going to freeze him so he can't possibly use a weapon. He's going to have to attack into me if he wants to use an execute. I'm not going to damage myself from the death rattle. So you just have to keep those things in mind. Deny them any early game. Don't let them draw into cards. And also having Counterspell to deny Battle Rage is an incredible feeling. Shut down 3 card draw. I think here I deny an execute. I run a couple heals in this deck too. I have one Earthen Ring Farseer. I think I only have one heal bot as well. You don't really need 2 with secrets. One of my secrets is Ice Barrier. I run 1 Ice Barrier, 1 Mirror Entity, and 1 Counterspell. Then I don't have to worry about overlap, like a drawing 2 and I can't play the other, or a Mad Scientist not being able to give me a secret. I don't have to worry about that. I have no idea why he was whirlwinding there. He must have known that it was a counterspell, so that was probably what he was trying to do. I mean, yeah, Whirlwind would have killed my guy, so that's why I went to Whoops, but he also had an Inner Rage, so he was able to kill anyway. But he froze his own face, and now I'm able to put down my other Water Elemental, and it's not really threatened. He already just used a lot of his spells to potentially get rid of it. Alright, so again, what the hell, why are you doing this? You have to keep freezing them. You don't want to give them any opportunity to buff up their guys and start their crazy combos. Just shut them down. So yeah, it's absolutely crazy to use a 4 mana 6 damage spell on a 1/3. But you saw how effective it was to use the polymorph and keep having him frozen. He's not able to do what he wants to do. So throw them off their game. Okay. So he's finally been able to fully clear my board. But we have a lot of options here. Of course we want to Frostbolt the full health patron. Then the death rattle of his death spite will take the only other patron down to 1. I was going back and forth whether to play Shredder here or not. But I was worried that the Shredder could potentially become something with less than 3 damage, and he might have a Warsong commander, so when he gets another patron, it might have been able to attack and just start stacking the patrons. So that's why I ultimately went with the Azure Drake instead of the piloted Shredder there. Okay, but he now has his other Death Spite up. We're able to pick off one of his patrons. We're also going to... I was thinking of Healbot, but no, let's shut down the possibility of a lot of spells. He's already used several of them, but again, he's starting to run out of cards. We've already killed a couple patrons. He's running out of combo pieces, so shutting down the option to use more than one spell is very big here. Alright, he only has 3 cards, so I really don't give a crap that he's reducing their cost. It really doesn't make any difference. So we're instead here going to Mirror Entity and Dr. Boom. We're going to get rid of the patron so it doesn't, again, if he has a Warsong, keep buffing if he attacks the Boombots or attacks with his weapon. Alright, so he did have the other Warsong patron combo, but this is incredible. If we weren't already way ahead in this game, here we go. Thank you, RNGesus. And there go the other 2 patrons from the Boombots. Whoops. So he's totally just done at this point. All of his patrons are gone. He only has 1 card. Yeah, our health is low, but we have Ice Barrier, we have Healbot. We're just going to get rid of Tharson because of its ongoing damage at this point, not because we're worried, of course, about it reducing anything anymore. And I'm always a jerk with my emotes, especially against Patron Warriors. Tempo Storm, I think, has had it as like the #1 most powerful deck for the last 4 months. I don't agree with that at all. They desperately search for a couple combos. That's not a good deck. A good deck is consistent and versatile, and Patron Warrior is not that. Yeah, the combos are insane, but there's, again, like a deck like mine, there's a lot of ways to shut down. There's ways you could do early damage to survive to late game, heal back up. You have more than one thing to do. Patron Warrior, you don't. And we're just going to completely shut him down. He's out of cards, so I'm going to use the other Polymorph. Again, just not really the most efficient, but he has nothing else to do. So and alright, so this game is essentially over, so I'm going to skip to a little bit into our next one. Alright, so here we are picking up with the next Patron Warrior. He's also using the alternate hero skin. I do have Medivh, but it just kind of annoys me that the outline around the portrait isn't gold too. I know it's a little stupid thing, but it does annoy me. I love the emotes that Medivh has. That was folly, that was folly. I just spam that like constantly. It's hilarious, but I'm using Jaina right now for the all gold. So this was a potentially disastrous move. If he had his Fiery War Axe, he could have killed the 1-3 or the 2-3, and then the next turn killed the other one. But fortunately, he did not. Unfortunately, we get one of the worst possible things. Well, I guess there are a few things that are worse than that, of course. Angry Chicken, a lot of things like that. But a 1-5. A 1-5 against the Patron Warrior. He could run his Armor Smiths, his Acolytes into it. He can do all kinds of things to get benefits for him from it. The only potential benefit I have is the Healbot, of course, is a mech, and Piloted Shredder. but I only have one piloted shredder and one heal bot. I'm not going to wait for that potential combo. Alright, so you see we were able to draw into a water elemental, so we're all set for this game. So I was considering whether or not to even play it, because if he's able to, like, say, slam execute, of course I get no value from it. Or even if he runs his guy into it. Alright, interesting. So next turn we're definitely going to get counterspell down, so he can't execute it. We're also going to play a Mad Scientist. There's nothing we need to ping, of course, so might as well get the body down. Just considering this trade. Alright, so we shut down Battle Rage. Whoops. There goes 2 cards. Alright, Unstable Ghoul, our friend from last game that we were able to polymorph and fireball. Unfortunately, we have no damage dealing spells. And Mad Scientist wouldn't even kill it. So we're going to have to run. I was, of course, wanted to play Thars and Emperor here, but you can't. You have to ping here, get rid of this before it becomes a problem. And if I don't get rid of it this way, I wouldn't be able to again freeze his face, which is so paramount in this matchup. Alright, we do not have any other counter spells, so if he does have execute, our water elemental will still die, but we have some good things coming up. We have Sylvanas, we have Emperor, we have card draw and spell damage with Azure Drake, so looking pretty good. He only has 5 cards, and here comes a Patron. We're also going to get one. It's always fun.
Thank you.
If he's not able to kill it, of course we could ping our own Patron and make more. But we don't even have to. He's going to Whirlwind and give us another one. Thank you. So he really wants us to trade the water elemental in, which of course we're not going to give him the satisfaction. I'm going to ping off the 1 health, going to kill the 2 full healths, and we're going to keep him frozen. He only has 2, now 3 cards in hand. He's already used Inner Rages and Whirlwind, so I'm not really worried about anything. Just want to keep him frozen. Keeping him frozen at this point isn't even as important. It's just very annoying for him and frustrating, which getting your opponent on tilt is always good. He's even going to play the other Death Spite to trigger the Death Rattle. So he's really desperate here. He's going all out to clear this water elemental. But now I'm able to kill his last possible patron of the match here and get Emperor down, and he has no way to kill it. So we're going to get at least 2 reduce effects from the Emperor. So there we go. I mean, the game's already essentially over. I'm just going to skip to the end now, just to not bore you with my kind of whatever commentary. But there we go. Alright, I really don't understand this new version of video pad I'm using, so unfortunately we don't see the end of the game there, but I am now on a winning streak, so I hope you enjoyed those couple little games using mid-range mage, and I should be back with more videos soon, at least opening tons of expansion packs. Alright, see ya.